Mayang buntag, mayang hapon, mayang gabi, no matter where you are in the world. Cindy just stepped in the shower, so I gotta actually check my own live stream today. So bear with me for just a second. Bear with me for just a second. Hey, I have audio and or I have audio and video. Now I gotta turn down the audio. There we go. Oh, there she is. I thought you just stepped in the shower, baby girl. That give me just a second. Let me. A little bit better. I'm not in love with the bathroom door showing like that, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, we have one person, so I think Cindy is the only one watching at the moment. So I don't feel too bad. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, baby girl. That I I actually did it on my phone too. So like I said, I thought you already stepped in the shower. Uh, Today's topic, I'm not entirely sure. I'll be honest with you. I just finished watching, or that he's actually still doing it. There's a another YouTuber I talk about here periodically, Love Beyond the Sea, Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. That he's doing a live stream as well. He started his at 8, and he just turned 60 today. If you get a chance, swing by and say happy birthday to him. That uh, he was talking about age. He's got a few years on me. I turned 56 back in April, so he's got 4 years on me, and he just made the baby boomer generation. And I just missed it. That matter of fact, I missed it by 4 months. That because I'm the youngest of four, and my parents, all the other four, are baby boomers. I've always kind of considered myself as part of that because it was so close. But and the demographics that it describes, I do match a lot of it, but I also match a lot of the Gen Xers. I'm actually one of those that are they subgroup those into that are born a year or two from that mark. They often subgroup them as their own little transition entities. And so I'm actually one of the transitions. And I can kind of see that. He reminisced about a few different things. The old metal ice cube trays that I remember those. That they actually worked best if you ran them under a little bit of cold water and then kind of tried to break them free. But yeah, they work. They were good. I remember the early plastic ice cube trays when my mother thought she was moving into the modern age with those. And a lot of those, if you didn't let them set out for a few minutes, that old plastic, when they were in a deep freeze, you go to crack them and the plastic would shatter. They were talking about things like drinking from a garden hose. That was standard back then. That there really wasn't a bottled water and stuff like that. My father used to get bottled water, but he'd get the distilled water. I think they call it RO water today, but he'd keep a bottle in the garage for the batteries, for car batteries. That back in that day you topped off your car batteries. That periodically he'd add a little bit to the radiator if that was needed. But he normally kept a gallon or so in the garage to do stuff like that. But you were always told don't drink that, that's not for drinking. And uh, it was kind of neat growing up and doing stuff like that. Uh, I remember before helmets on bicycles. I also remember getting a concussion from a bicycle accident and being in a hospital for about a week because of a bicycle accident because of no helmets, which could explain a lot of why I'm a little bit the way I am today too. So modern era, that there are definitely some good parts to it. That Cindy, right after she got to the U.S., that she wanted to learn how to ride a bicycle, and I originally was starting out doing a lot of things with her and doing it with her. And then one day she got excited and wanted to go. And I was doing something on a computer. And she went out and she tried by herself. And it was really cool. And I'm super glad she did. But she came back in and she was kind of hedgy. And she had a cut on her forehead that she fell. And I felt horribly bad that I wasn't there for her. Matter of fact, still got a little tiny scar just above her eye. It wasn't horribly bad, but it was just one of those cuts that where it was at, it was thin and it bled quite a bit. But we got it cleaned up, and we immediately got in the car afterwards and went and got her helmet and knee pads and elbow pads and all of that for when she was still learning to ride. Yes, I'm going to make sure Pumpkin wears, that when she gets that age, that she wears helmet and knee pads and all that good fun stuff too. There's a lot to be said for the era that we grew up in and the bumps and tumbles we took, but a lot of them were because we didn't know any better. And like time moves on and things improve, you learn better and start doing better. And some of the things that are in the modern era, that they were probably good and probably should have been around when we were young, but you grew up, you lived, you learned, you took a few bumps on a noggin. That I also remember a friend that lost a leg because of trying to jump a train. I also kind of a friend of a friend, that was somebody I knew but was on the far outside of the circle of friends, that he lost an eye because of a firecracker. That there were some injuries, without question, there were some injuries, some permanent life-changing injuries. So is there a lot to reminisce about those days? Yeah, without question, there is. Was there some hazards and dangers in living in that era? Yeah, there was. That reminiscing isn't all rose, primrose path, but there was a lot of good points to it too. I completely skipped a group there. I'm sorry. Until a few people start showing up, I usually just use this time to talk about a little bit of anything and just go with it. I'm one that as a kid, the way I grew up and the things that were going on and happened, I was a very active, very rambunctious kid, but not a very cautious or well coordinated kid. And I wound up breaking several bones before I got out of before I got out of grade school. I broke both wrists twice. When I was about 3, I fell off a slide and broke both wrists. It was a minor fracture. And then one time playing chicken, but in grade school, the teachers and administrators hated it and would stop us whenever they saw. But we were kids in that era and would do it frequently. That we'd get another person and carry them piggyback And then uh, other people would do the same, and you'd run up and try to push people over. And yeah, not a terribly safe pastime, but it was fun. And I fell on that and broke one wrist, and then one other time before school during the winter, we were messing around, and I slipped on the ice and broke the other wrist. Uh, that one I even played gym with it. It was swollen quite a bit, but the nurse, my mother, I couldn't get a hold of my mother to find out what was going on, and uh, but the nurse just kept on icing it down, and finally had me go back to class, not realizing that I was going to gym, and I played dodgeball with a broken wrist. Uh, but I broke my femur as an infant diving off a bunk bed. And then about 6 months later, I took another dive off a bunk bed in a camper and broke my collarbone. Uh, Playing football in midget league football, I cracked a rib. Uh, yeah, like I said, I was not a terribly coordinated kid. Uh, and had quite a few spills, bumps, and injuries. I've still got a scar on a finger that I was playing with a railroad spike that had a bit of flashing on it that we found in the street. And I went to throw it without thinking. And when I did, it came through and cut the finger down to the bone. And probably should have went to get stitches, but just never did. And yeah, that a lot of that stuff as kids, we just accepted, that you get bumps and bruises and such. My son, he's 28. It kind of freaks me out. I thought I did. I joke around about it. I thought I did a better job of raising you. He'll get a brush burn and start breaking out the medical kit and all this fun stuff. There's a lot of times, especially as I've aged, the older people seem to have paper thin skin, and I'm getting there, especially on the back of your hands. That I'll get these bumps and cuts. I seem to permanently have some kind of cut that's either healing or scarred. Eh. A lot of times I don't even realize it until I feel the blood, in my hand. Uh, there's been a lot of times that you can tell when it was a minor cut. You take a rag or a paper towel or whatever you can find, you throw it on it, take some duct tape and wrap it up good and deal with it until you get back to the house, or if by off chance, the company had an actual medical kit, get in and do something with it. But yeah, today's just going to be a general discussion. And after having done kind of a live stream yesterday from the house, I'm not in love with doing back-to-back live streams from the house, but yesterday was kind of needed because getting the AC service and all that fun stuff. But that I actually thought about going out and doing a walking live stream today, but I don't like messing up with the schedule too much. Cindy's doctor's appointment. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Marine, Michael, and Ken. How are you doing today? But we're just having kind of general discussion of what's going on. And another friend of ours, Love Beyond the Sea, that he just turned 60 and was doing a live stream just before this that I was watching. And he was talking about kind of reminiscing on different things over the last 60 years. Uh, that Oh yeah, by the way, I'm John, and that's Cindy. That uh, Cindy just had her 36 week. Cindy just had her prenatal exam. I think 36, 32, 32. And whatever one it is, you start going over the weekly exams on now. Uh, Little Pumpkin is doing fine, getting big. Doctor's a little concerned getting big, not in a negative way. That Cindy is not a big person, and so that the bigger Pumpkin gets, the harder it's going to be to have a traditional birth and not do a C-section. So there's a little bit of concern getting in that one, and how much Pumpkin's going to grow before Pumpkin decides it's time to come out. So we've got an appointment next Wednesday. The appointment, the obstetrician we're seeing, OB-GYN, what was in a delivery last Wednesday. So we got asked if we would be willing to reschedule for this week on Monday. And so we went Monday instead of Wednesday last week. And the doctor wants to start seeing Cindy once a week from here on until the delivery. And everything's going well with Pumpkin. Developing seems to be going well. I think, and Cindy can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, I think she's going in for an ultrasound next week or the following week. Just to double check all development and all that stuff if Pumpkin hasn't made a grand appearance yet. And got to hear the heartbeat and all that fun stuff. So that was really cool. We are in rainy season. I was starting to try and do drone practice first thing in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the last week, it's been raining off and on. Last Saturday, I did go out and do some drone practice up in Busai. I got some okay video, and was gonna try and do the other drone, but it started sprinkling. Today I was supposed to fly it, but first thing this morning it was kind of sprinkling. I noticed it's still overcast, but it hasn't rained for a couple hours. So I'm hoping maybe after the live stream to go out and take it out for a little bit, even just here at the compound. In my neighborhood, there's a lot of overhead wires. So I may go out there, but we had a Typhoon Lani, Hurricane Lani come through that I think we caught the outer bands of it or whatever, but that's been kind of making our life a little bit wet for the last week. Now, where are you at? That I'm trying to that I'm trying to cycle through and process, and Cindy's normally my secretary, my personal assistant, and my personal memory. I'm the kind of person that I can talk to somebody 15 times before I remember their name, and stuff like that. It just escaped me horribly. dumb little facts, figures, and stats and stuff I can remember, but names, dates, stuff like that, have always horribly escaped me. And that's one thing that I've over the years I've come to work with and do. And of course, there's an app for that. And I tease people about it. If it's not in my phone, it's not real. My entire life, my entire existence is on that stupid phone. But before that, I was on a day timer. That I was real, I have always been really bad about stuff like that. Remembering times, appointments, and stuff. That here I've recently found out Google. Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah, it's not focusing correctly, but Google does a calendar day timer thing that is a huge blessing for me. That it allows me to keep all the appointments and everything in there and on track, so that I know what I'm doing, and when different things come up, I know where I'm supposed to be and when. Cindy's doctor's appointments I keep in there, so I know about them. That I'm going diving on Thursday. I forgot to put it in there one week, and completely forgot about it until the guy called me and that the night before, thankfully, and asked. And I'd want to make other plans because it wasn't in my schedule. And I don't. I'm just one of those people that I need a planner of some kind. I'm kind of surprised Daytimer didn't move over to a digital format, or they may have, and I just haven't found them. For a short time before internet and cell phones, there was a couple of services, a couple of software devices you get. Daytimer did make this switch over to, instead of just buying the books and stuff that were pre-made, you could buy notebook style and just send it through and print it out yourself. So you can go in and keep it on a software version, and then print it out as you needed it. That worked really well for me for a long time. And then they stopped updating, and cell phones started coming out, and I had one that was really good, but it went by the wayside. And then here recently, I was looking for one since we've been here, and Cindy tipped me off to the Google Calendar. And the Google Calendar app actually kind of fits the need that I've got perfectly after I figured out how to use it. And that's the big thing, is after I figured out how to use it. A lot of these do. There's like any new piece of technology, there's a learning curve with them. Mayam Buntag Daniel, how are you doing this morning? That actually not a whole lot. Did a little bit of reminiscing. Friend of ours, a friend's channel, Love Beyond the Sea, Bob, that he just turned 60 and did a live stream today about turning 60 and a little bit of reminiscing. And a little bit of talk about the weather here. And then back to a little bit of reminiscing. Cindy had her, she hasn't corrected me, so I'm going to say 36 week. She may be in the shower at this point, so I don't know. I may get corrected later. But she had her prenatal exam yesterday afternoon. Got to hear Pumpkin's heartbeat again. Everything's good, and Pumpkin's growing quite well. That's not alarming, That, but it's a little bit worrisome because of Cindy's size, and that if Pumpkin grows too much, a normal birth may be a little bit of an issue, and they may want to be a C-section because of that. That I'll reminisce on pretty much any excuse you give me. That looking back at the old days is kind of fun, but realizing that they were the old days and definitely not all primrose path. And whenever you look back, it's always through those rose-colored glasses. You look back at the highlights, not too often at the lowlights. 70 is a few years off for me. That I just turned 56, so I got a few years to go before I have to worry about the 70 mark to do that reminiscing. C-sections are way more common here than they are in the U.S. And I think it comes down a lot to physical size. That most Filipinas are typically tend to be smaller stature, people, let alone women, and the women are tend to be smaller yet. Cindy is a whole whopping 4'11", so I don't know many American women that are under 5 feet. And she's proportioned for somebody at 4'11", and having a baby, can be kind of hard. And a lot of doctors here, I think, will opt for C-section versus the complications that can come from somebody that small trying to deliver normally. I don't know. Is it a deal breaker? Obviously not, because there've been before C-sections were around, and the midwives were a big thing, and her mom isn't much bigger, or I don't think her mom is any bigger, and had 4 kids naturally. So this doctor prefers, and I think most doctors prefer to deliver normally, but is not ruling it out, especially at this point. Pumpkin's getting a little bit big to safely and comfortably deliver normally. And so it just depends on how the next few weeks go. The matter of fact, she encouraged Cindy to stop eating rice for a few weeks, limit carbohydrates, quite a bit for the next few weeks. Don't go into a starvation mode, but cut back on eating, cut back on calorie intake for a while. Definitely cut back anything, sugars, carbohydrates. That will make pumpkin grow quite a bit more, and so that could cause cesarean. That my biggest disappointment, and I'm kind of upset about, but what are you going to do? Is that we're not I'm not going to be allowed into the labor and delivery room. I guess I can be in a labor room for a little bit, but there comes a point where the father gets kicked out and you wind up in the waiting room. So at that point, what are you going to do? And other than a few high-end people, well-connected people, that it's just standard policy here in the Philippines. Turquoise Sunsets, that they actually went back to the States specifically because of that. That they much preferred to do a home birth, but were willing to deal with a hospital birth. But when they found out that there was no way, not possible to do the father in the give me a second. I'm going to do something very horrifying. I can do it this way. Better. I'm going to pop a Google. That I messaged Cindy to either her or Papa to come here for a minute. That I'm going to ask him. He's spoken Visayan for almost 70 years. He's 68. He just turned 68. So he's really cool in that respect and can give a native perspective of what the word means and how it's used. Because a lot of times the word isn't necessarily well defined online or through a dictionary, because it can mean a lot of different things, or it's just kind of a deep meaning word. That actually kind of Cindy's still in a shower. They're getting Papa to come up here. I'm going to kind of branch off into another story. There's a word, and I don't remember the word off the top of my head. Morning, Mr. David Brown. How are you feeling today? Hey, Papa.
Yeah.
Sit. We need to teach your Papa today.
Yeah.
One of our subscribers asked that he has a question. How do you describe what mabuhay means?
Mabuhay means to say, like, long live the king. That's the expression. Long live the king. Mabuhay ang Pilipino. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
because I've seen it. Two people come up to each other and say mabuhay.
Okay, that's an expression where they break it expressionally. So mabuhay. Long live the king is different. Mabuhay, when you go, and then when you are rich Philippines, right? When you go there, mabuhay, they will call you mabuhay. That's it. Mabuhay. That is the expression of the
So
two kinds of expression. Addressed to the person you had, mabuhay, like was mabuhay si Duterte, and then the people will say, mabuhay. That is the answer.
Okay, when we log off, that we'll always say mabuhay.
Yeah.
How would that be understood by a Filipino watching it?
Mabuhay meaning to say approve, like that. You have to clap your hand. That is the same. Let's big him take approve. Clap your hand. That's it. That is it. Mabuhay instead of clapping their hands.
Okay,
Yeah.
so mabuhay can actually mean a few different things,
Yeah.
depending on the context it's used in.
Yeah.
That's so Yeah, I got a little bit of an analytical mind and trying to run through this thing. Mabuhay kamusta. They're telling you kamusta.
Yeah, that,
David Brown is saying kamusta to you.
okay lang, it's okay. Yes. Yeah, it's okay.
And Daniel said mabuhay papa.
Mabuhay, Papa. That's it. Okay, thank you.
It's, uh, David from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So you're talking with somebody from New Zealand as well as from Canada.
Wow. Good. It's good. It's nice. It's good. I'm already uploaded to that. And New Zealand and Canada. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
But yeah, Papa is helping me learn a lot of Visayan, and that before somebody ran away to Manila,
Yeah.
we were sitting down for 20, 30 minutes a day
Yeah.
and going through and learning some. Yeah, Daniel Ford, the gentleman from Canada,
Yeah.
that his wife is from Moab, that they're going to be going to.
That's a pure Bisaya.
Oh,
War. Pure Bisaya.
oh,
But the intonation is different in Sibonga. That is different. The intonation in Molbol is somewhat, they're going up and some going down. The words, they're swallowing the words sometimes.
oh.
Yeah, when they talk with Bisaya, like this, for example, Maayo bunta. Maayo bunta. That's it. There's an intonation between the Sibonga and Molbol. You say, how are you? In Bisaya, kumusta ka? But in Cebu, kumusta ka? It's very hard. It's very hard to speak worldwide.
Now, even though Moab is just a few miles apart,
Yeah, few months.
because it's the other side of the mountain,
Yeah,
when you were growing up, getting over there was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a trip you took just for the day to go do something. It was, you had to have a reason to go over there, correct?
Correct. Okay.
But coming up and down the same side of the island wasn't too bad. That you do that
Yeah.
a little bit more frequently than you would go to the other side of the island.
Yeah. Okay.
Would that be? Yeah, David was talking about New Zealand's known for its cows and milk. It's yeah, we ran across that guy. Where we get our water from. That he's a retired chief engineer, and
Yeah.
the shipping lines he worked for,
Yeah.
that they ship cattle from New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand.
Oh.
Now, when you were young, did you guys ever go over to Moab or stuff like that?
I used to trip there by bus.
Oh, bus was the only way for you to get there, really.
Yeah, that's the only way by bus.
How long of a ride was it at that point?
It's only from Sibonga to Walwal. It takes only 1.5 hours. During the time when I delivered my soka, I have a soke there in Walwal. So
Oh, okay.
I have soke, plenty of soke there in Walwal.
Now, that was back in the early 80s, though.
Yeah. So I always deliver the soka. That's my business there.
Now, did you have to go through, you went through car and then over?
Yeah. Because in Karkar, I have so plenty of customers in Karkar. There are almost 20 customers in Karkar. And Morbual, I have 9 customers. Before Morbual, I have to start with Dumanhog. Dumanhog, I still have a customer. And then Ronda and Alcantara. There are plenty of customers around all the provinces, all the towns in the south. These are all my customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you were growing up, did you ever go over there?
Now I did it. I did not go in.
Was there even a bus going there at that point that you remember?
There's Thursday. Yes. And after that, there's the bus.
Okay. Do you know My eyes are much better than Papa's.
China family in Moldova. I forgot. It's a long time already. Yeah, it's almost 20 years. I've never been visited Moldova.
Oh, it's been a long time since you've
Yeah,
been
it's
there.
been a long
Okay.
time. It's been a long time. So changes are coming.
That I guess they're farmer family. I'm not sure. That you would have dealt more with the people that were in the public market selling stuff, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. That yeah. Cause I guess they've got some cousins, some relatives that own one of the fuel stations in Dumenhoog, I believe, and
Yeah.
that they're a fairly prominent family in
Yeah.
Wall area.
In Haidar family? Yes, I'm not familiar with that because before, during my days, I have not heard of Haidar family. Maybe it's new in that town.
That
New in the town.
well, you you really didn't get over there to meet people a lot either, though, did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sabunga, Alcoy, that area you know a little bit better because
Cebu, Alcoy, what I have heard is this. I have plenty of friends there in Cebu, Argao, Dalakit, Alcoy, all are my customer. Yes, I'm very familiar with them.
okay.
Very familiar.
That yeah, and that's kind of the funny thing is really up until like you say the '80s,
Uh,
getting there was kind of a major deal.
wow. Is that when we were the last time in World War? No, it's almost 20 years now.
You haven't been there that long?
Yeah,
Oh, Papa, we need to take a trip.
yeah. Because I'm busy of my, before when I was talking, I'm busy of going to Mindanao, sometimes going to anywhere else in Mindanao. But now, I'm still here with John. I'm still with John.
Well, now you got a new job as being tatay.
Yeah, Tatay. Okay.
Daniel was asking what did you do for a living?
Now,
Well, before when you were raising your family.
yeah, I almost done myself with my sung-ang fabrication. Sometimes I do contract some houses, fabrication of trusses, the whole house sometimes. Also. That's why, that's why, I mean to say, my hanap buhay going or towards my family.
That your main thing though was being welder fabricator though, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
That a lot of the gates and a lot of the window bars and stuff like that
Uh,
in Sabuga, that you were the one to put in.
yeah, okay. I was the one, the first fabricator in Cebu. That's why plenty of customer going there in my shop. It's full of materials. Yeah. So mass fabrication. I have two welders with me doing it because I cannot do it myself because it's very hard. At
Oh,
plenty, you are going to bend, you are going to an- analyze, you are going to estimate all the materials intended for that project. So I'm going to buy materials, labor, and then the manage on people how to do this one. So I assign both of them, give them the instruction. That's all.
that
At least 3 taon na kaming mga mag-agawan papa. Wow, what is agawan? Ganun. So, I can weld pa. Yeah. So
hmm?
he knows how to weld.
Oh,
No, 3 taon na kaming mag-agawan papa. I don't know what is meant by agawan.
so what did you say?
Agawan, agawam, agawam papa.
Tatlong,
3 taon na kaming mag-agawang, Papa. What do you mean? Do you can speak the lingo? I don't know how to speak lingo. It's been 38 years already married. It's 38 years married. You retired? No, Papa. No more welding. Yeah. Yes. I've
That's
been retiring. No more welding. Yes. I know.
well, now his job's taking care of grandkids.
Yeah. Taking the grandkids.
That's
Coming.
you got one grandson, JJ in
Yeah.
Sabunga,
Yeah.
that you kind of help with Gemma, your middle son.
Yeah.
And then now we're gonna have Pumpkin coming that he's gonna help with.
Yeah.
But you actually still have customers contact you periodically saying, "Hey, can you make some sagong?"
Sugan. There are plenty who contact me. They're asking, when are you going to make a delivery with me? So I cannot anymore. There are plenty. I have no. I'm tired now. I cannot do it. When pumpkin comes, so I'll be the one take charge of picking the pumpkin.
Papa's also helping me a lot with the garden out back or out front. We got some Gemma, the middle boy, that he does a lot of plant trading, and so he brought down some Vietnam roses.
Vietnam roses, yeah.
And Papa went out and planted them for me the other day.
Yeah.
Papa and Mama.
Mhm.
What do you? David. Daniel said he can weld Papa, and then David said 3 taon na kaming mag-agawan, Papa. What do you mean by that? 3 taon, so 3.
3 years, well, I say, iba yung mag-agawan.
Agawan is
Before,
like competing.
Comparing, yeah.
Or like 3 of them competing welding, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Daniel said, David, you can speak the lingo.
What is lingo?
Language.
Language,
Language.
so,
Yeah.
Oh, David is asking you, Papa, how long you been married?
It's 38 years already.
38 this October 10.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Oh, very cool. We got to sit down and do an interview with you, you and Mama.
Yeah. And then you retire. Oh, okay. Pumpkin seater. Papa is our chef. Nah.
Oh,
He really cooks really
Papa
good.
likes to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, David saying now you can relax. The welding is hard work, and yeah. And somebody wasn't wearing a helmet for most of their life.
Okay.
They were using an arc welder with sunglasses, but that's pretty common here too.
Yeah. You can come visit us at the World War.
Daniel is inviting us, Papa, to go to
That's,
the place.
When you guys get here, we will definitely make an arrangement to come out like that.
Yeah.
You'll have to come visit us in Cebu when you come through Cebu.
Yeah.
The Papa and I may, now that Mama and Papa are here, I may kidnap Papa for a day
Yeah.
and take a trip over to Moabwa.
Yep. You can do that.
How's that sound, Papa?
Yeah, okay.
Papa will just say, okay.
Okay.
You and I can go wandering and go sightseeing.
Yeah.
Oh, Yara's birthday is October 12th. Advance happy birthday
Yara
to
is Daniel's
Yara.
wife.
Yeah.
That it's her family that's from Moabwa.
Oh, yeah, we did not bring Mama and Papa on that when we go to Malbual, but then we should go have a trip.
Yeah, that Papa made comment that It's been 20 years since he's been to Moab.
Wow,
Sorry,
it's almost
Papa.
20.
We should just let them go with us at one time when we get. You can visit, yeah, right?
That
Yeah.
we may take you up on that. That I'm always looking for some kind of day trip to do, and with Cindy being pregnant, we just haven't been able to. Most of the summer, and a lot of times things have started opening back up. Saan kayo?
David speak Tagalog.
Oh, that's Tagalog. Okay.
Read ba po?
Saan kayo nakatira sa Pilipinas? Cebu.
Cebu.
Cebu City. Guadalupe.
Where
are you
asa
living?
ka nakatira? Asa ka
Where?
nagpuyo? It's like, where do you live?
Yeah.
3 hours and 3 hours back. Yeah.
So, David, you can speak Tagalog? That yeah, since Cindy's been pregnant, that we've tried a couple times, and
It's hard for
a
me.
month or two ago, it worked, but not well.
But with the quarantine and everything.
And then the quarantine went stupid, where you weren't supposed to be leaving the house and all that. And so now that that's finally over,
I'm 36 right now.
that she's far enough along that day trips are just not doable. That doctor's appointments are they're a little bit of a challenge at this point, even.
Yeah, it's every week now.
But even just going out for that length of time, we were supposed to go to Ayala
I was not feeling it.
and just not feeling well, and after being out for a couple hours, that it what you two are gonna have to handle that comment.
So Bisaya pala lingwahe. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Papa
Okay.
can speak Bisaya and Tagalog.
Yeah.
And Ilocano and Chabocano and a lot more. What's other, Papa? Ilonggo,
Ilonggo,
Waray,
Waray, pure
Cebuano, Tagalog,
Tagalog, and also Buhalano.
Boholano, o katong ka sa Bicol pa.
Bicolano.
Bicolano, 5.
Yeah.
If you go to it should be an overnight trip. If you're going to
Overnight,
tour around,
going
yeah.
to tour.
Yeah, I don't know if overnight trips are gonna happen for
Yeah.
a while.
You could do overnight.
Around, I'm thinking probably after the first of the year before overnight
Yeah.
trips.
Bicolano,
happen.
Crooked,
Uh,
I don't know.
Crooked Road.
we talked about going up to Malapuasca just before all the shutdown, the most recent shutdowns,
It didn't happen.
and
It's just
we
very-
tried a day trip and realized that Malapuasca was not going to
It's
happen.
me because I don't travel well.
And right now, like I said, we tried a day trip and realized that Malapuasca just wasn't going to happen. Before we leave, when we get up to Malapuasca,
We'll
maybe,
see.
who knows?
Really? No, it depends upon the situation.
We don't know if we could go back quick to the US and then if pumpkins start growing, handle the trip really well, then yeah, we could travel. No?
Well, and Cindy and I have kind of talked about, that sometime probably after the first of the year, before we leave, sticking Mama and Papa with pumpkin for a weekend.
Yeah.
Dili
yeah.
daw.
Okay lang.
Oh,
Okay,
Papa
it's
said okay.
I can handle it.
And just Cindy and I going and kind of having a last hurrah before we go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I will do a lot of wrist pump.
Ay, pagka natin, patulog lang.
Uh-uh.
Wala lang kayo. Yung mo kung ma-stuck mo sa delikado mo.
Uh-uh.
Wala lang tulog sa parang sa
now, what language do they speak down in Zamboanga area?
Chabacano.
Chabacano?
Yeah.
It's
So-
more,
Wow,
it's
yeah,
more
that
like
is-
a Spanish word.
Yara can speak 5 language. Oh, that's cool.
No.
David's wife can speak Bisaya and Tagalog.
Yeah.
And then Daniel, English, Tagalog, Cebuano, about the Muslim language, a bit of broken Spanish. Chabacano, yun na Chabacano pa, no?
Oh, Cebu.
But where do you assign? So Papa used to be a military also.
I was assigned in Bungo Islands in
Muslim.
Tawi-Tawi.
Tawi-Tawi. So before Papa, a welder, Papa was the military man, person.
I was assigned in engineering battalion. That's why I know how to weld. Engineering battalion brigade. Then
Oh, so that's,
we construct like uh, bridges.
Mhm.
That's why I know how to weld. Just I learned
Oh, so you learned welding, Papa, in the
military
army.
during my military time.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Okay, I didn't
It's
know
only-
that. Now I
it's-
know.
It's only an experience. That's why my brothers and sister wonder why I know how to weld when I go back to Cebu. It's been 13 years. 13 long years you've not been saying it's fine.
Oh, very cool.
His
They-
family thought that
They thought I'm
he was dead.
I was dead. And they light a candle for me.
Well, that's not
Almost
good.
13 years. Yeah, I know that.
But that was kind of a cool surprise for him, at least.
Yeah.
Daniel said, Papa, how does you like in the US, Pa?
That's nice. It's nice in the US, but it's very good.
Well, you
Aside so very cold.
Yeah.
they came to Arizona from October to November. I mean, October to January. And they came straight from the Philippines. So they came in during,
Rainy
in
season.
Arizona winter, and we did. We went up to Flagstaff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got to see snow. They got to see below zero temperatures and all that fun stuff.
So we went San Diego and then Flagstaff, Sedona, Grand
Plenty.
Canyon. There's a lot of place now.
Yeah, that's that.
There's a lot of places.
Then we traveled over a little bit.
Yeah.
But they haven't been through an Arizona summer yet. So Papa's
Never experienced super hot.
I'm not very scared.
Papa's mindset for Arizona isn't quite complete or accurate.
Yeah. Daniel asked Papa if you still have the license to carry a gun from the military.
No, I cannot
No,
now.
Papa already gave that up. Give up the.
But to dismantle gun, I know how to dismantle gun. Like Armalite, Garand, M14, and sometimes machine gun. Yeah.
Papa is small, but he's so strong.
Oh, that
You have one picture. I've only seen one picture of Papa that have the
Yeah.
M16.
Garand.
What,
M1 Garand.
M1 Garan.
Yeah.
He was so skinny before.
I'm very small, yeah.
Oh well, he's
The
skinny
Garand is,
now.
Garand is,
Daniel said, colder here, Papa. Colder in Canada too.
yeah, Canada's
Yeah.
way cold.
yeah.
I need to find a picture. I will ask
We do
Mama.
that.
I
Yeah.
will ask Mama
We're playing the slope.
I know the one that you carry a gun.
Yeah.
The other day, last week or so, Cindy came in with a little photo album that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And a few of the pictures that you've shown me over the years, we did manage to get scanned in.
Oh, I need to give you some.
And so, yeah, I really want to get some of the old photos that they have
Yeah.
because they don't have a whole lot. And I'd like to get some and get them scanned in.
Yeah. It's so rare that we have pictures before.
It's more kids.
So okay.
It's more kids. Like a stair.
Bless you. Bless you. So Papa was actually cooking chicken and pork adobo, and I was like, Papa, I need you here.
Yeah.
I was showering.
I don't have any uniform now.
Wala na. It's
Wala na.
all
It's almost
30
more,
years, 5
30
years.
is
Yeah.
rotten already.
Yeah. And then with a lot of calamities
Calamities
happen.
happen.
Typhoon, flooding, and
Yeah.
everything, and moving and everything. So
Well, and that's the other thing I've noticed about a lot of Filipinos. They don't have the
hit pa. We'll have a San Miguel and arm wrestling. Papa doesn't
No, I don't
drink.
I
He used to drink before, but now he has alcohol. What's that called, Daddy?
No,
I don't know what it is, but
Every
back
time
in Arizona, we gave him a glass of sangria. 'Cause I knew he'd like it, and he did.
he drink
But
it. He drink it.
uh,
His face turns red.
he turned completely red and kind of got
And have a
Right.
big, like, you know, the
yeah.
spotting, like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Alcohol didn't sit well with him, so
Wait, I hear it have any over before. We do have camera too.
Yeah.
We'll hire a cameraman and pay 20 pesos during that time.
and I guess a lot of that was real common back then. And
Yeah.
the people that had a camera would do that for
For a living.
a couple extra bucks, pesos.
Oh, they have like the camera like yours before, like the really good camera.
Uh,
And then that's why they have business and they do 20, di ba no,
Oh.
20 pesos?
Yeah.
Wow.
that so yeah, it was
That was interesting.
it was and a lot of things that most Westerners take for granted were a big deal.
We only have pictures during recognition day.
Yeah, that's
Di ba no?
it. Yeah.
Well, which kind of explains why you guys why Filipinos take so many freaking selfies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have that privilege before.
That I'm assuming that's what they were, is the old 35 millimeter cameras, the old.
Yes.
I just noticed that we're hitting the 1 hour mark,
Yeah, and Papa
and
will
Papa
continue.
has lunch to cook yet too.
Yeah, okay.
He
Our
has
chef,
she has
Sure.
Papa has marching order with
but
Mama. Marching orders with Mama.
after we log off, Cindy and I are going to be doing this week's Chica Chica.
Yeah.
We're going to start doing Chica Chica again. Definitely make sure to watch out for the Chica Chica tonight.
Short
post
chica
it
chica.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be early morning for most people. But from Toad Chip Compound.
Mabuhay! Long live!
Okay, let's try this all at once. From
From
Toad
Toad
Chip
Chip
Compound. Mabuhay!
Salamat kayo. Oh, David said at our wedding, we have people taking photos and trying to sell to our guests. They weren't part of our wedding. Salamat pa.
Okay.
Thanks for coming over.
Okay.
Salamat, Papa.